Check 1, 2. Whoa, Nash. I'm gonna have to cool it for this one. Lie down. Hey, hey. You can lie down right there. Hey. 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 No respect for the words I say. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me tell you about. Nash, you're gonna have to lie down. Thank you. Clickety click clack. I'm fresh from the gym. I'm having my little chocolate milk after. I have a little story I want to tell you about two guys. It's me, and he's been on the videos quite a few times throughout my whole life. My cousin Lucas. Back in Thanksgiving. When is Thanksgiving? Canada Thanksgiving. October? I think Canadian Thanksgiving's in October. Any of my American listeners and videos watchers maybe didn't know that. You learned something new today. Thank you to the PB&J. Back in Thanksgiving, I had an idea that I wanted to make a documentary about somewhat my favorite place, and I was really intense into I was really wanting to make a video. I was all the way in. I was like, if I do a travel video, I'm gonna be able to do this every fucking week. I'm gonna go somewhere new all the time. I can quit my job. I can do all this stuff. And with the kids, it won't be an issue because I'll have a week of travel and film. Then I'll have a week of editing. When they're here, I'll edit when they go to sleep. And it'd be a perfect little contraption. And that'd be a fun time. But then we tried it. And then we tried to, we went for 3 days, the long weekend. So understand that this is where my father was born and raised, and a lot of his family still lives up there, and I consider Kirkland Lake, Matach my favorite place in the world, probably. My favorite little town to visit. I feel like I understand that living anywhere, it feels, it'll dampen that feeling of it being the favorite. But also, I have so many good memories of having old family and stuff there that it's got a special place in my heart, and I feel like it will never go away. Onward, I wanted to make a video representing this place. I wanted to make a video kind of speaking from my perspective of this town. And it's a 9-hour car ride on a good day. First time my generation, so me and my cousin, made the trip by ourselves. We were ready to make a documentary. I had a little 2-page script out and everything. And the script is still probably pretty justifiable, and it was good practice for this kind of script writing. The shooting was really tough for me. I feel like if we had a third person who could be taking shots, who wasn't really involved as much into the family aspect of it, because once we got there, first off, the drive, it was between me and him. We were switching back and forth, and we never really took the time. It was nighttime most of the trip up, and then it was raining like a bitch the second day, because we drove we drove 6-7 hours after work. We took a hotel around midnight, and then traveled the rest of the way first thing in the morning. So we're on this trip, and it's not very, the weather isn't the greatest, but we make it there. We make it to Matach, which is where most of these memories and the stories of my father's childhood, which I wish I lived in, kind of thing. I've always kind of been jealous of, I'm sure that he would see my childhood as a better childhood, right? And I agree with the living situation and stuff. He did well for himself. He had 17 brothers and sisters, youngest, and he's the youngest, and all this, everything. But for me growing up, that was like, all these siblings and everything were like my dream. Like I loved being there, and I loved listening to all the stories that they had together, and it was really, they could be a sitcom or a TV show, 18 Kids and Me or something. 18 Friends Children. We went up there planning to make a documentary style video, and I got the idea from Peter McKinnon. It was a Peter McKinnon video he made about going to, I think it's Edmonton or something. We didn't get very many shots on the trip up anyways. We got a picture of the billboard. And then we get in there, and even on the second thing, the way I wrote out the script was establishing Matach and it being my favorite place, and it being a mining town, which I found interesting because I have family that worked on the mine, and as soon as it was shut down, so did the town. Like, they left their houses there and they moved to find work. It was that insane that they couldn't sell any, like, there was nothing else in it there. So I always found that interesting, and the feeling of like being isolated, more or less. It's kind of not isolated, like they have access to everything. It's just when I'm there, I'm away from my life, and I think that's why it's got this special lore. And then we had a couple of uncles and stuff that I was gonna meet and talk to. I know them, like I well know them, but we were meeting up while we were there because it's a 9-hour trip and we don't see them very often. And I was gonna get into like this whole interview type stuff. I had a light, I had my camera, and I had sound equipment, I had all the stuff, but we pulled into the house, and both of the uncles that I have that I wanted to talk to and get stories from on camera, just started in the stories, right? We get talking and we never stop, and there was never a moment to grab my camera, it felt like. So maybe I'm a bad filmmaker in that sense, and maybe I'm a bad video maker because I didn't take the urge to do that, but I felt better as a person just being in the moment, listening to the story instead of being like, oh, you cut up, wait, tell the story on camera, please, And I wasn't sure how comfortable they were on camera and everything. So I had this whole interview set up, lined up, and then when I didn't interview my family members, my uncles, and I kind of gave up around this time. This is when I was like, okay, now it'll be pretty hard to tie together this narrative. So we started having just Thanksgiving dinner, and we just enjoyed it. A big thing that I wanted to do, because I was reading a lot about Matach and the history behind it, and there was a guy named Jacob who prospecting found gold, right? Or Kirkland Lake Gold? No, it's Matach I'm thinking of. Anyways, there's gold in them hills, alright? And so I really wanted to see this back in the fucking day. I don't know what year it was, like 1800s probably. Even maybe early, probably 1800s, 1830 or something like that. I don't know when were people Buster Scruggs in it, Like who was the miners back then? The mining one on Buster Scruggs is the best one. Maybe the carnival guy. Who knows? You've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. But I really wanted to make it to this cave. And now the video is kind of shot. I don't take any shots, really, pertaining to the storyline that I had set up. And, sorry, Nash. We go to Jacob's Cave anyways. Like I said, it was raining the whole weekend, so we didn't even really get to do much. One funny story that I can tell you really quick. We went to the bars, and it was like, I started talking to one of the local hockey players, and he tells us to go to this other bar But we're sitting there just drinking beers, watching like baseball. I think baseball was the sport that was on the bar TV. And then my uncle shows up. My uncle that we haven't even gotten in contact with. We were talking to my other two uncles about meeting up with this other uncle, but like we never had direct contact with it. He shows up, he puts his hands on us. Well, hey! So we just start drinking like harder. And then he goes, alright, I'm thinking about going home. Do you guys need anything? And we said, well, can you bring us to... We were at the Franklin, I believe. Yeah, we were at the Franklin at the beginning. Anybody from Matach or Kirkland Lake? You know what the Franklin is. And then we went over to the other one. It was kind of like a warehouse looking place. It's behind a school. I can't think of the name of it now. Anyways. And we go there and we start drinking. We literally walk in and it's crowded. And I'm thinking, this is like this version's Little Texas. Alright? Little Texas is Belleville's bar. So we're looking around. We're like, alright. Make our way to the front. And I say, can we get a shot of tequila? And the girl goes, what kind of tequila you want? Alright? And it was like, whoa, man, okay, I don't know, Jose Cuervo, I guess. And you're like, alright, 2 shots of tequila, $14 or something. Oh no, it wouldn't have been that much. I don't know what it was, but I gave the money and I was like, well, I'm good. I've had fun here. And we walked at the Franklin. We were about halfway, like we were like 2 rows away from my from our crash landing spot, okay? Now we gotta walk literally across the fucking town, it feels like. And we're walking and we're seeing other groups of people. The hockey player that told us to go there is walking on the way there as we're walking away from it. Like, he's like, hey, you guys go there, what? And we're like, we were there. We got a ride. I didn't realize you had to walk. Now we're walking the other way. But, you know, we did what we did. We got there. Sit on this couch that was laid out for us because Lucas gets to bed. It's his grandpa's house. And I know, don't say you'd be second cousins. We know that. We know that. Alright? Alright. But his dad is closer to my dad's age than my age, so we kind of, I was all, being the youngest, my dad being the youngest of 18, the oldest of 18 had a kid, and that's kind of, you know, kind of trying to make a triangle here. But I sit on this couch and it goes, like, folds like that. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I didn't know what the hell to do. I thought it might have been broken. I rolled it up and slept on it like a couch. But literally, I think this chair might have been thick. Might be thicker than it was, because holy shit, it was not a fun. It was not a fun. I'm okay, Nash. It's okay. I'm going crazy over here. But it wasn't a comfortable sleep. I had to figure out how to, you know. I was like, oh. Anyways. We slept, and then the next day was Thanksgiving, and like the Sunday, the main one, and then we were coming back on the Monday. So we go back to my aunt's house, and we were like, yep, we're not getting this documentary done. So we kind of just enjoyed Thanksgiving with, I wouldn't call them distant family because they're closer to me personally than family that lives in my city, you know, and I am within 20 to 40 minutes away, and we just enjoyed it. And I did get my camera out and take a couple pictures of everybody having a good time, and then my cousin came over, and I don't know if you guys know this about Lucas, but he's pretty good at guitar, okay? He shreds. And they got a couple guitars out. and they start plucking away and start jamming. That's kind of when I realized when you set out to do something, make it big. Or when you set out to do something, set out to do your thing. I set out to do a video that I watched and I wanted to make about a different location. Simplicity is key when it comes to goals, and individuality and self-awareness and personal voice is important with the content you actually create and what you actually do. So work hard to make your goals what you want. Work hard to catch your goals, but keep those goals simple so they're attainable and you get that momentum and you keep that energy up. Do everything you do in life 110% and you will be happier. Improve every single day at one little thing and you will be happier. Everything that I'm saying, I'm trying to live and I'm trying to do myself still. So don't take my word for it, take your own word for it. Do what makes you happy and do it hard. Keep doing what you want, so someday you will. How many times have I told you what to do?
Like it's so simple. Like
It's so simple that it could be difficult.
Yeah.
With simplicity brings brilliance, let me tell you.
Yeah.